What's up everybody, Kadou here, and thank you for tuning again here on my YouTube channel. I know it's been a while. I've had a little bit of a content drought recently, but I thought I would just try to get a video out today and walk and talk briefly and discuss a program that I recently finished. That program goes by the name of Jeff Nippard's Powerbuilding System, and that's exactly what it is. Powerbuilding implies that it's a sort of combination between bodybuilding and powerlifting, and it tries to achieve results on both of those aspects. More on the powerlifting side, as it's very much focused on the squat, bench press and deadlift, but other than that there's a lot of bodybuilding focused movements as well that are included. So I just finished up and I thought I'll briefly explain my experiences with it, but firstly let me just cut straight to the cake, or whatever the saying is. Cut to the chase and discuss my results, because I think that's what most people are interested in, the results and exactly what type of experience I had following the program. So we're going to talk about the powerlifting results first, and how my numbers increased for the squat, bench press and deadlift. And just by the way, a precursor, it's a 10-week program. So for advanced lifters, it's not like you're going to see drastic results within 10 weeks, but I did see progress nonetheless, because I'm around an intermediate to advanced, I would say, on that level. Anyway, so my squat increased from around about 110 kilograms for 1 rep max. At the end of the program I was able to achieve 110 kilograms for 4 rep max, so quite a significant difference there. Prior to the program, my bench press was 100 kilograms for a 1 rep max, or 95 kilograms for 2 rep max, and I managed to improve that by 95 kilograms for 3 rep max and 100 kilograms for 2 rep max instead of 1 rep, so that is quite significant as well. My deadlift, I found the most improvements. However, I was doing 160 kilograms for 5 reps for my deadlift, or 170 for 1 rep max. After the program I found myself doing 180 kilograms for, I think it was 4 reps, so significant improvement there with the deadlift, so that's awesome. In terms of my bodybuilding results, not much of a bodybuilding transformation, to be honest, and I'll explain a little bit why later, why I think that is the case. Hello, Brad from the future here. I realized that there was a part that I wanted to discuss that I didn't earlier in the video, so I just want to briefly discuss why I think I've achieved these results. All lifts I increased numbers. For the squats, I think there was good volume. My only gripe for the squats is that there wasn't enough accessories. You used to be doing Bulgarian split squats and sumo box squats and that type of thing, but I just felt, at least for me, it wasn't enough. So either increasing the volume of squats itself or increasing the volume of accessory work for the squat would have been more beneficial, for me at least. In terms of the bench, I think that the volume was also good, but the hypertrophy gains just weren't there. Yeah, he included some things, some accessories for the bench press, but most of it was focused on the bench press itself, and I find that I don't get that great of a mind-muscle connection or a pump for low rep bench press sets. So including some type of dumbbell work would have been way better, at least for me. For the deadlift, I think it was perfect. I have to say, I think the accessory work for the deadlift, the volume for the deadlift itself, and the periodized approach, the way he structured the increase in weight and repetitions and volume over time, was just perfect, and I think that's why I got such an incredible result for the deadlift itself. There were quite a lot of accessories. So you had the pause deadlift to make up for deficits in the beginning of the repetition. We had block pulls so that you're able to progressively overload in weight while not making the exercise per se much more difficult. And then there were just a lot of other things like the glute ham raise and hip abduction exercises that kind of made up for the fall shorts in hypertrophy of doing deadlifts only in a leg program. So I think that was perfect. And then I said I didn't get that many results with bodybuilding, and what I mean by that is I didn't see a significant improvement, which you generally won't for a 10-week bodybuilding program, especially because everything else kind of stayed the same. Dieting stayed the same. And one thing to note actually that I didn't mention before is that I cycled off creatine for this program, and I made sure that all my lifts were done without a weightlifting belt, just to make sure that all my numbers were as natural and raw as possible and true to myself. So that could actually be taken into account as well. I did make a little bit of improvements in, like I said, calves and arms, and the reason why is because I never used to train calves and arms prior to this program. So obviously I'm going to have a little bit of increase in size there, and my glutes didn't suffer too much. And the reason why I bring that up is because my leg training was primarily focused on glute training prior to starting the program. So the fact that there's no like direct intense glute training or glute specification in the program, and the fact that I found that my glutes really didn't decrease in size and stayed about the same is really great. And I think that has to do with a lot of the focus on hip hinges, hip abductions and deadlifts during the program. So yeah, what is the program all about? Tries to achieve the best of both worlds. For those who want to gain strength but also don't really want to lose size, they also want to gain size. So I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it, but it really does well at achieving this, as it tries to focus on powerlifting movements while combining enough mandatory volume for other accessory movements such as calves, arms, etc., shoulders, back, so that you don't really fall short in the bodybuilding space. And I think it also achieves this quite nicely in terms of their periodization approach, which they take in terms of trying to improve the numbers over time. You really have to calculate your 1 rep max prior to starting the program, because that is used to basically specify what type of numbers you're hitting on a day-to-day basis. They give you a little spreadsheet, and they also give you a whole bunch of manuals. So the content there is amazing. They really make sure, or Jeff really makes sure that
total distance 2 kilometers, workout out for a total of 25 minutes, pace for the last kilometer 13.
Okay, I've got it right here. It comes with a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet, the program including introductory explanations and videos explaining each exercise and including alternative exercises. Comes with a preparation manual and a technique handbook. I might be forgetting something, but that's just about it, to be honest. Let's jump straight into the pros. Content and value for money. So like I said, Jeff really makes sure that people are prepared, and he doesn't skip out on any type of information or details for those who are just coming to one of his programs. And now he really does a fantastic job at explaining what the program is all about and giving introductory details to the program on his YouTube channel already for free. But you know, for people who maybe aren't exposed to those types of things, he has all the details written out in a neat fashion in all of his handouts, which is fantastic. So a lot of room for learning and instructional value for money is really there. It's fantastic. The program is either 4 days per week or 5 to 6 days per week, so it's nice that they give you the option of being able to change out the volume or the days trained for those who kind of need or don't need the flexibility in their lifestyle. There's a scattered split approach. That's another pro, is the fact that it's not just full body or not just upper lower. He combines a full body and an upper lower split, and I think that kind of, it's really nice in breaking up the monotony of other very much monotonous training splits. You know, you get to look forward to a week of upper lower that has a different type of layout than the previous week, which is a full body week. And while we're talking about that, it also has what he likes to term a roaming hypertrophy day or roaming bodybuilding day, in which basically allows the person to kind of come up with exercises on their own, but he gives a brief layout of his own roaming hypertrophy day where he tries to hit all of the exercises or all of the muscles that he feels need some improved or increased volume, like arms, traps, calves, whatever it is. And I think that that's really a fantastic idea, as it also adds a lot of customization to the program. And that comes over to my next point. It's easily customizable. As I said, he gives exercise alternatives to every single exercise. So if there's something like machinery that you don't have access to, or there's a particular exercise that gives you pain, or you just don't particularly enjoy, then you're able to just easily switch it out for one of the exercises he's described as an alternative in the handbook. It tries to accomplish most of everything, which is another pro. So it tries to accomplish every single muscle group, even including neck, traps, arms, calves, without really falling short on the powerlifting aspect of the program. One big pro, which is why I like following Jeff in the first place, is that everything is backed up with logic, reason, and calculation. You know, backed by science or evidence-based. So he really has a way of explaining exactly why he's doing what he's doing, and it kind of adds a sense of tangibility to the program and the fact that you're not just doing these things all for nothing. And last point, it's easily repeatable. So I'm done with my 10-week cycle. There is an additional 11th week that is added as a deload, which I decided to skip. But if I wanted to completely restart, which I might consider, the program, he suggests it, and you're really easily able to do so, and it doesn't feel like you're really overloading. So that's fantastic. All right, so now I'm moving on to the cons, but they're more so some personal gripes, to be honest. Firstly, you rotate upper lower weeks and full body weeks every 2 weeks, and in my opinion, or at least for me, the upper lower weeks were a bit too much, because those were 6 day per week body, 6 day per week weeks. What am I saying? Anyway, it just felt like it was a lot of volume. The workouts were longer. It was 6 days per week, so you had more days to work out, yet the volume was even higher, which also didn't make sense, you know, considering your full body weeks were almost 4 days per week if you don't consider the roaming hypertrophy day, and yet the workouts were way shorter than the 6 day per week, if you know what I'm saying. So for me, it was very difficult to increase or to maintain my intensity level for the upper lower weeks, and that's just one gripe. It wasn't too bad, and it also allowed me to push a little bit more and meet that threshold of volume for like strength gain and hypertrophy. But personally, it was quite a lot for me, but I know a lot of people are used to having really high volume days, and they wouldn't have that much time to recover, or wouldn't need that much time to recover, so maybe they'll feel differently. But that's just for me. And then there were these weird trade-offs in the program. So since bench was a priority over back, because bench was one of the main lifts in the powerlifting part of the program, there was a lot of less tricep work or less tricep volume as a result. So you could make up for this in your roaming hypertrophy day, but I just felt it was very weird, because you often used to do a lot of bodybuilding exercises for biceps, and the whole week triceps were often just neglected. So that was a bit strange. And here's a partial con for me: the exercise selection in general. And the reason it's a partial con is because, as I said previously, he does provide great alternative exercises that you can swap out if you don't like his selection. Things like the glute ham raise, primarily focusing on standing calf raises instead of seated calf raises. His ab exercise selection was also kind of mediocre, just leg raises and butterfly crunches, that type of thing. Another glute exercise was the pull through, and personally I really just don't enjoy pull throughs with the cable machine at all. I much prefer doing a standardized back extension or a hip thrust. Good mornings, same thing. Personal gripe, I don't enjoy good mornings, so I substituted them for back extensions yet again. And the block pull. Now, I don't have any problem with the block pull, especially how he approached it. I just personally didn't enjoy it. I didn't find myself to be stronger in the block pull as compared to pulling straight from the ground. And another thing with block pulls is that I don't have blocks at my gym, so I had to use plates, and it just felt really awkward. It took a long time to set up those plates. You had to kind of measure it in a way that it wasn't off balance, and you're constantly having to make sure that you're on the middle of the plate the whole time throughout your repetitions, so that the barbell doesn't just go flying off those plates and make you look like an idiot in the middle of the gym. So block pulls is something that I won't return to unless I have more comfortable equipment, shall I say. But anyway, that is a partial gripe, and you can make substitutions. All right, all in all, I want to say I'm going to give this program a solid 7 to 8 out of 10. And now this is a personal rating. This is not an objective rating. And what I mean by that is that I don't like programs at all. I follow my own. I'm build and make my own standardized programs for myself. Why did I say standardized? I mean individualized, tailored to myself. I really don't like following coaches. I don't like following programs because I'm just fussy. So 90% of programs out there, I'm probably going to give them a rating of 5 or less out of 10. So the fact that I've given this a 7 or 8 out of 10 speaks mountains for what value you can really get out of this program. I think it's fantastic. I don't mean any ill intent by that number whatsoever. It's a fantastic introduction to high frequency splits, such as the full body split or the upper lower split, for people who otherwise haven't really tried them before. It's a great bodybuilding approach to low rep lifts. So your bench press, deadlift and squat are really low reps, but it doesn't fall short on the bodybuilding aspect of things. And I think that's a great way for those who want to increase, well, that's what the program is made for, trying to increase your numbers on those lifts without falling short on hypertrophy gains. And I recommend intermediates to do this program, personally, even beginner to intermediates. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because Jeff, I think, recommends intermediate to advanced lifters to do this program. I think that I don't think it'll appeal to advanced lifters, in my opinion. I think it's perfect for intermediates, and I honestly don't think you need to have at least 1 year's experience to at least try it out, because that's about what we would consider a beginner in the lifting space, as if they've been lifting for around a year or less than a year. So I think if you've been lifting consistently for around 10 weeks, 10 months, and you still considered a beginner, but you've kind of built the ground up in the basis for doing heavy lifting and powerlifting movements, I think that you can definitely give this program a try. So if you fall within that intermediate category, give it a try. It's fantastic. And yeah, this is my approach. This is my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up. Give me a comment if you did. Subscribe, like, comment, all of that. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being patient. And until next time, boys, peace.